Okay, great. I'm Ellie Long.
I'm Haley Wyatt.
And our client is Justin Flores from WDJC with the Crawford Media Group.
Make sure you can see. There you
go.
Oh, okay.
All right. And what did y'all do on your project?
So our project was basically helping them to create an internship program where they could have different college students come and work on a variety of teams that they have at their station in Birmingham, and just help them with everything from writing to engineering to on-air personalities and stuff like that.
How was your response with it?
Well, we talked with the girls and just mentioned, here's all the departments that run this radio station, 12 different ones or something. And they took it, ran with it, put together, asked me a ton of questions on each department, and put together basically a program where they can just hopefully find some students who will want to put in some sweat equity into actually doing this. And radio today, in addition to the FM and AM signals, we stream, we have Roku channels, we need code writers, digital streamers, people who can really get in there, make sure that we have the best quality sound, always playing with the codes and things. And so it's kind of a big part of our operation is the engineering. Our engineers did not grow up in radio programming. They actually are students of, they're code writers, they're mathematicians. So it keeps us on the air and keeps us streaming. We're very thankful. And the girls were able to put together a solid, what would you call it, a title for each role of what each person does to keep us going. We're thankful.
Sure, like you're saying, you got to pivot too because everything's changing and getting a new, fresh perspective on it instead of old guys like us who stay the same.
Yeah, it's not just the FM terrestrial or even AM, right? We got 3 FMs and 2 AMs, like AM radio, but we're finding there's a lot of people listening. Yeah. And we want to have that same quality and the same programming that goes over in the digital realm. Mm-hmm. It's been great.
So you got a lot out of it?
Yeah, we got a lot out of it. Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to it?
It's been a fun project to work on. Justin gave us a lot of flexibility to kind of let us run with our own creative process. Since it wasn't like an existing program that we were coming in and making adjustments to, it was just brand new. So we were like, all right, what do you want? And he was like, why don't you guys see what you come up with? And we would just kind of put stuff out on paper as we came up with it, and
did he veto any ideas or anything?
No, they were
no
like,
vetoes.
What does sales do? What do copywriter producers do? And I would just explain each role. But I think once we got into the digital part of the streaming part is where we really started digging into exactly what these guys do. And I didn't even know half of what my engineers did until I started asking them. Where did you go to school? What did you do? And he goes, well, I'm a mathematician, I know how to write code. But he's keeping us on the air. So it was very interesting for me to learn. And WDJC is now in its 56th year of broadcasting. They launched on April 22nd, 1968, playing the same music on the same frequency for 56 straight years. So it's a heritage station that has been playing the same contemporary Christian music for all 56 years and has never had an opportunity to have somebody come in and learn the ropes and get involved as an intern. And I moved out here from California 9 months ago and had this opportunity to say, let's do this. Let's get the school involved and see if we can't get the youth. Yeah. I'm a youth-led type of guy. Like, I don't know, what are your giftings? What do you have? What do you want to do? Well, this is what we're learning. Well, great. Let's put that in the radio world and put together something so we can get people in here. Awesome. So we want people to come and work and get their hands dirty. And you can't really mess it up. If we go off the air, we go back on the air and say, don't do that again.
So something like this, we definitely got to have the youth involved in it.
Yeah.
Because that's your future.
Yeah. As a youth pastor for about 12 years, I always said, you have giftings and talents. What do you want to do? Let's get you in there and see if that's where you're supposed to be doing. And I don't care if things go awry. We'll get it back up again. But let's try it. Yeah. Let's try it. So we want people to get involved. And I love to see the youth. I mean, they're the next generation. I'm on my way out. And I want to be able to relax and take my bride out on the beach and say, Ellie and Haley, man, look at them roll. They're taking care of it.
For sure.
Awesome. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Gavin. I'm Adam Clark.
And I'm Jason Wilson.
And his company's TNC Construction based out of Hoover.
So, are you residential, commercial, everything?
Primarily residential, but we do some commercial as well.
Okay. Yep. And what was your project to get them to help with?
Yeah, so wasn't really sure how we were going to get kicked off. So this is the program, and My thought initially was, these guys are going to be able to leverage technology a lot better than me, for sure, and that was definitely the case. But yeah, they helped out with a few things. I think like the continuous improvement surveys and the social media posts.
Yeah.
I mean, those are huge components that I'm like, come on, not something I want to spend my time on, and they killed it. They did a great job.
I appreciate it. It was fun to work with, something like Jason, who's just a great speaker and gives us a lot of knowledge, information about his company, how it works and how it runs. So we're happy to help him out in some ways that he couldn't really focus on. Jason's grown a lot his company right now. He's doing a ton of different things and in different kind of environments and areas right now. So I don't know if maybe you want to talk about some of those projects you're currently working on.
Yeah.
Kind of expanding.
Yeah, sure. So we do custom home building. It's kind of one of our bread and butter in the Hoover area, south of Birmingham. But also we have an entity that we created to kind of go after the housing crisis, if you will, and affordable housing. So that's something we're focused on in Carla, kind of south of Birmingham. But just really trying to mix the two. And then we've got some commercial projects going on in Tennessee as well. So kind of like you mentioned, a lot going on, but we still want to get out there and improve. We're constantly trying to improve, so we can do continuous improvement surveys to see how we can better serve our customers. That's something we've always wanted to do. Yep.
Is the interest rate hurting you as far as construction?
I would say a little bit.
amount of-
I would say a little bit. I mean, with the pre-sales, we're not seeing too much of an issue with custom home builds, I guess. And then as far as you mentioned interest rates. That's why the affordable housing I think is such a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
To try to get below that kind of 400,000 price point, where more people can get into them and new home.
Awesome.
Yep, for sure.
Appreciate it, guys.
Anything you want to add?
No, I like looking at the camera.
And you guys did a great job this
Appreciate
semester,
it.
so I just want to say thank you guys again, man. It's awesome.
Thank
to be
you.
part of that.
It was fun working with you. And I appreciate
Thank you.
it. a lot.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
I'm Brendan Doherty,
I'm Matt Hudson.
I'm Ben Bigger Seth.
and we worked on Who Is Coffee for the semester.
That's what I'm talking about, service.
It's a coffee company out of Birmingham that Ben runs. We worked on this year kind of how we can market our chatbot. Can we sell our chatbot to other companies? How can we market it on Shopify? We also looked into kind of app creation, an app that leads to where can I buy this coffee, what coffee places are selling it, how can I brew this coffee, different types of brewing methods, kind of like the Traeger app where you write in your ways of brewing your coffee or smoking your meats on Traeger. We kind of want to go in that direction. And then we worked on marketing with a $10,000 budget, what social media platform gets the best views, and then the conversion rate, how many people will go to the website, and then from a percentage of that, who will buy from the website.
What did y'all find out on that? What's your best bang for your buck on social media?
We found Twitter, X was the best. It gained the most impressions, and it's $2 compared to Instagram and Facebook. That's $6.50, I believe.
Okay.
You covered a lot of it there. Yeah, we were working on the chatbot to kind of help customers pick their product, and it'll help decide what they need. And we worked on the app, or we kind of just threw out ideas for a lot of stuff. Not really worked on it, but
Yeah, we didn't build an app.
no. But we were throwing out ideas for it.
Not yet.
And then we worked on marketing, kind of created a potential financial plan for marketing on social medias.
Yeah, so maybe let me back up and fill in a couple of gaps here. So we sell specialty coffee primarily in an e-commerce fashion.
Okay.
We are based in Birmingham, sell locally there, farmers markets and things like that, but primarily e-commerce. And we actually, my wife and I acquired this company last year. We kind of bought basically ended up buying the supply chain. And what was really intriguing to us and the impetus behind the name was who is coffee, right? Like the dirty secret about all these coffee shop sales and stuff is everybody is selling everybody else's coffee, right? It's different than a distillery or a brewery in which I can just kind of go and buy the ingredients and go down the street and buy an old warehouse and start a brewery, right? Like, to have a coffee farm, you literally have to have that land in the tropical zone. Otherwise, you cannot start a coffee farm. It's hard to sell coffee. Most coffee shops, even the ones around here, are not necessarily vertically integrated. As in, they do not own the farm, they do not own the roastery. They just kind of run the shop. So they're buying and branding somebody else's coffee. So it really kind of spoke to us that they were highlighting sort of the story of these farmers and sort of where they're located and the things they're doing. So we acquired that, and then as we kind of got into the, we were just kind of casual coffee drinkers like everybody else, and so we got into this and we realized there's this world of coffee, and I started inundating these guys with it. I could just, we were on Zoom, and I don't even think I had a camera on that day, but I could just see their eyes glaze over as I'm talking about it. I'm like, yeah, they're like, yeah, I kind of just thought I just popped it in the Keurig and drank it on my way to class. But, there's all this sort of world of coffee, and what we've noticed in sort of the specialty coffee world, specialty coffee, it's not necessarily a marketing thing. It's like it's a grade of coffee. You guys probably see it tequilas, right? Like there's good tequila, there's bad tequila, there's really good tequila, right? And so what we noticed, as far as everybody's selling everybody else's coffee, and then people there's this knowledge gap of what makes good coffee versus really good coffee. And so we said, how do we add tech to this so we can kind of start marketing, selling, instead of competing against everybody? Because what we've really realized on the marketing front is that we're just eating up our margin in social media costs and social media advertising. So instead of just beating our profit margins out of each other, how can I sell to those other people and give them tools, kind of better market there, so that way I can help them understand who's buying what, and then relay that data back to our farmers who really kind of need it. When I put their face on the bag and I show it to them, they're like, oh my gosh, because they have no idea. Once it leaves their farm, they're like, I have no idea what happens. And so it just kind of makes their day, but they have no idea what's selling. But it's most impactful on our Colombian farmers. If you go to the grocery store, you'll walk down and there'll be Great Value brand Colombian coffee. So in Colombia, the government is a guaranteed buyer of your coffee. If anybody that has 100,000 trees to 10 trees, you can pick your coffee beans and go sell to the government at one flat rate. They don't care how much or how little you do it. And that's how people buy their groceries, pay for their housing, what have you. And so but that cost, that set rate, it's based on the commodity price of Chicago. That rate is getting closer and closer and closer to the cost of production. So their margin on this government coffee is just like withering away. So this specialty coffee is like really, really, really important to them. And so we're trying to kind of, bridge that knowledge gap of what makes a good specialty coffee, and then, how do I want to, kind of like what you were saying with the Traeger. Like, okay, I brewed this coffee with this device at this time, and I really liked it. How did, or kind of same with Traeger's. Like, okay, I made this awesome brisket. What did I do? What was the rub? How long did I cook it? Yeah. And so you can kind of take notes of that. And then I try to appeal to their college nature, but I'm sure y'all are familiar with Barstool and the pizza reviews. And so we kind of want to do the same thing but with coffee shops. Like, who's got good coffee in town? We don't want you to go to Dunkin' and Starbucks or buying mass-produced coffee. We want you to go to the off-the-beat coffee shop and that sort of thing. So they help me kind of understand. The chatbot aspect of it was the educational component. Where do I even start, right? Like, if I walked in here and looked at your wall of tequila and you started talking to me about it, how do I basically capture that exact same interaction, put it online, but make it about coffee?
Right.
That was the impetus. And then we're going to take that exact same little AI algorithm, build it into the app so that way we can say, hey, we noticed you made this sort of coffee, you really liked it, here's some other coffees like it.
So do you sell it to coffee shops, or is
We will
it just
sell
to
wholesale.
individuals?
Primarily we sell e-commerce, but we absolutely sell wholesale to coffee shops. So we sell it whole bean. These guys don't have a grinder, so I had to grind it for them and bring it to them today.
Y'all drink coffee?
Yeah, this one is, if you smell it, it's actually one of our lightest coffees. It's kind of just one example. It's a natural coffee. So, when they pick the coffee cherry, they let it kind of raisin up in the sun, and then they extract the bean out. And so it's kind of got that really tart smell to it. It's got all those nice archy tones. We could talk coffee all day, but I think I got some coffee knowledge into them, and I can't wait to hear how they like this as compared to Keurig.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so it's like recording. Okay, cool. Well, we've been working on building a small-scale water bottling facility in Jacksonville, Alabama. Talk louder. Okay.
Everybody pay attention to Nicole and Shelby. They're giving their presentation, please.
We've been working on building a small-scale spring water bottling facility in Jacksonville, Alabama, and we've been tasked with developing a cost analysis, pro forma, and prospectus for investors to look at this and decide whether they want to invest in the business, run the business, and then give our client royalties on the water that's being sold. So we plan to have our cost analysis, financials, and everything turned to our client next week. But it's been a long semester of trying to find the right equipment and learning about what goes into a water bottle. Yeah, a lot of research about what a water bottling facility looks like and how that works.
So what have y'all learned? Because I'm sure that's a lot. Probably know more about water than you ever will.
Yeah, a lot about water quality and a lot of equipment that I just probably would never need to know again. But I've also really enjoyed just like researching something new and like working for a real client and trying to meet their expectations, as well as like working on a cost analysis, the pro forma, and the prospectus has been really good, especially as business students. It's something we really need to learn. So I like that we're taking something outside of the classroom and like applying it to something in real life. So.
And I'm sure that would be beneficial for. That's probably a very small town.
That is very beneficial.
Just
Yeah.
big.
So it's been a really interesting project. Yeah.
Sounds very cool. I'm sure you learned a lot of different stuff you never knew.
Yeah, definitely. We're still working on the benefit side of things, so we're trying to find another company to compare financials with.
Right.
We've been looking at this one company called Blue Springs, and we can't find their financials anywhere, but I actually work at a small local grocery store, and they sell this water, so I'm going to get the data from them and then kind of do some math and figure out the numbers that way. So it's very lucky that I'm actually connected with someone who has the data we need, but as far as the research goes, we haven't been able to find the financials yet and everything. So.
Is that information out there publicly?
Well, it's a private company, so
So it's not. You got to.
We've been looking at search engines, but they just don't, even the ones that are supposed to, they don't have the information we need, so we're figuring it out.
Good luck with that.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, Sean was on our team tonight. So.
Hey, that's probably a good one. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, y'all did good.
Yeah, he's still
He walked into class.
painful about it.
I walked into class and he was gone. So.
Did y'all both decide that?
Yeah, we had all
I'm
three
sure
of us
that
in
was
class
like
together.
unanimous decision.
Realistically, it was Dr. D's decision, but
Okay.
Sean's still just pinning it on us.
No,
It was 100% Dr. D.
I swear it was not me.
It wasn't. It wasn't. All right.
If y'all will introduce yourself.
Yes.
So I'm Patrick O'Hara.
I'm Haley Best. And we did, so our client was Joe Bengala. He's a commercial real estate investor out of Florida. So we basically worked with him, like looking at different properties that he could buy. Kind of just basically that. We met with him twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays just to go over like what you really need to buy a property. I know both of us really do enjoy real estate, and so it was something that we kind of wanted to go into and like look into. So that was pretty cool. I don't know if there's anything.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I know most other projects were, okay, here's a set amount of things that I want to get done with y'all. But for Joe, it was more of an internship. So it was pretty much our Tuesday, Thursday meetings were just like a classroom experience. It was, all right, so today we're going to be covering this, and then kind of for your homework, you're going to go out and do it, and then when we meet again, we'll rediscuss it, see how you did, I'll give you comments, all that. So I think that was very beneficial in regards to the class experience overall.
I'm sure y'all learned a lot from him.
For sure, yeah.
Definitely did.
Did he look at commercial real estate?
Yes. So we
It's all
mainly
commercial.
looked. I think our first assignment really, like with him, was to look at our own kind of recommendations and our like own requirements, I guess you could say. So, I mean, for me, I looked in Tuscaloosa, just what properties were around here and what people were going to buy.
Right.
And then he looked in Nashville, but we kind of just looked at like how much properties really are and how much people are making from them, which I just never even thought of. I know one of the life advice things that he told us was buy a property and rent it out to your friends, and they can pay for your mortgage. And I was like, okay,
That is
well, I guess
true.
that's great.
Yeah.
So
That's good
it's very
advice,
fun.
and y'all need to use it.
Yeah, it was a very beneficial experience in the long run because, like Haley said, we're both pretty interested in real estate.
Yeah.
I don't currently have a job lined up for after college, so I'm thinking I might go back home to Chicago, maybe purchase some properties, add to my portfolio, just kind of get my foot in the door and see where I go from there.
I knew you sounded like a Bears fan.
Yeah.
I was thinking the whole time, I was like, I just want to hear him say the Bears.
Got Bears.
I told you. I was thinking the whole time.
It's the voice.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. And like for myself, I do have a job after college, and this is
You
like
got rubbed in his face.
yeah, I know. Sorry. But for me, I was like, real estate is what I did in high school, and I just found it fun, even as a side business, just to see. And he opened our eyes up, I think, to the commercial side, just because residential is very like touchy-feely subject for a lot of people. And commercial, you're buying like a building that you don't really care about, kind of. So that was pretty cool.
And the people that go in there and rent it are usually longer term than your 1 year students or.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Sounds like y'all learned a lot. Go out there and take advantage of that.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Probably so everybody can hear you.
All right. Well, I'm Cara Block.
I'm Shelby Reese.
I'm Cassie Valadez.
And y'all's company.
So our company is Meter. It's Cara's company.
Okay.
She is the founder. It's a startup company. It's basically customized pants. So people will order pants and they'll do their waist size, like small, medium, large, and then the inseam is a direct, like custom measurement. And she's hand making all of the pants herself.
Is this done online or?
Yes, online through social media and our website. We're actually launching very soon. So excited.
So all measurements and all that are done by the consumer?
Yes.
Okay.
So you know how whenever you go shopping, you have your inseam length. Women, we have maybe 3 options if we're lucky: short, medium, tall, which really doesn't work. Regular is made for someone who's 5'6", 5'7", but the average woman's 5'4". So that's 2 inches hanging around that we don't know what to do with. So we're creating a model basically to match yours.
Very cool.
So for our project, we've basically been helping her with like all of social media and trying to find her target market. And I created some Instagram posts for her, and so just try to get her social media up and running.
I did a lot of the research and analytics side of it, finding her target market, seeing what age consumers are purchasing, how many pants like per year, what price range they typically purchase in.
Need to go on Shark Tank.
She should.
Absolutely. That's the goal, right?
Tag them.
So what is your website or your Instagram or any of that?
It's Metre, METRE, clothing.com. Same thing with Instagram.
Awesome. Wish you all the best for it.
Thank you.
Big launch on it. Anything you want to add to it?
It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been really fun. And I don't know, it's fun to like make Instagram posts and design it all, so that's been really fun.
It's crazy how big social media is for a business, especially smaller business starting out. I mean,
That's like how you blow up as
It is,
a company,
it is.
I feel like.
I
we
really,
wish you luck for sure.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed doing analytics and being able to like do it on an actual like company's needs was super fun and super nerdy, but I really enjoyed it.
Yourself
Yeah, hey, I'm Seth McMillan.
Hello, I'm Tyler Newman.
and the company y'all work for.
So Red Mountain Garage Doors in Birmingham.
Milan Lesra is his name.
Yep.
He's from Israel. He came here. He went to UAB. He won an Excel competition. And then we just helped him with his company.
Yep.
What did he ask y'all to do as far as?
Yeah, so you can go over the first deliverable.
There was a couple different things that we did for him. The first one was he was looking for garage storage stuff to put in people's garages. So I reached out to a couple vendors and was looking for bulk pricing. So I called one of the vendors. Flex Mounts was the best one we could find, and I spent like 3 hours on hold before I actually was able to get someone to talk to me. So like I would just go for like walks in the morning and expect like 20 minutes to go by, and then it's the automatic hang up. But eventually someone actually answered. So I gave Alon the full pricing information. He was grateful for that, which is definitely how he does not need to spend his time. Right? He's a lot more busy than that. And then there was another thing we did.
Yeah. So then he asked us to generate some leads for his salesman to call. So we came up with 112 leads for the different types of property managers, commercial builders, residential builders, and put it all in Excel and put it in a format because he wanted, like we said, he wanted an Excel competition. So he wanted it in Excel so he could program it the way he exactly wanted to. So we had to clean it up a little bit. He didn't like the first way we did it. The second way we did it made it a little bit easier for him to be able to do it. And then he also wanted us to create a weekly sales/training meeting, slide presentation. So we basically made like 267 slides and basically started from week 1 to week 52. And each slide has like opportunity for him to talk about products and sales changes and to products and pricing and all that. And then opportunity to have icebreakers and basically for the salesman to learn from one another. We basically give a scenario of like, hey, where you got a certain objection during a sale, how did you respond to that? What could you have done better? And it's kind of allow for talking points.
Learning experience.
To create a group thing for everybody. And so we have 52 different objectives each week, for each week, and so finding 52 different objectives.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. So yeah, but basically we just made talking points and stuff, and basically facilitated him to lead the.
That's awesome.
Yeah, each meeting.
What did y'all learn from this?
There's a lot of money to be made in garage doors, and there's a lot of opportunities. I didn't realize the market the way it is. Like, I just my parents for years, we've lived in the same house for 20 years. We had our garage door once, but I guess when you had millions of people, that you need millions of garage doors. So yeah, there's just a lot bigger market than we thought, and there's a lot of competitors too. But he has
it's very densely populated.
But he has a really good competitive advantage. His website compared to every other competitor is state of the art.
I mean, if you Google garage doors near me, his is the first one too, so he's really good at that.
Yeah.
Now, is he regional as far as what?
Yeah, so like he does.
Birmingham,
Yeah, so he does Birmingham.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he's located in Birmingham, but he does jobs all the way from Huntsville to Mobile, from Gadsden or Trustful to Tuscaloosa. So, yeah, he does it kind of all over.
He's from Israel.
Yeah, he's from Israel.
Yeah. Did you tell him to market that? Like, I'll give you a bomb ass deal.
Hey, you know what? We might have to mention that to him.
Might be week 53.
Hey, he's got a good sense of humor, so he honestly probably would like that.
I think y'all did a great job.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm John Hedia. I was consulting with the American Heart Association this semester as part of the course. So the American Heart Association, as you all know, is the largest heart health-focused organization in the United States. It was founded in 1924, and today they are known for initiatives to train people for CPR, promote healthy eating, etc., etc. They divide into chapters across the nation. So we are located within the West Alabama chapter, which is the group I was consulting with. Now, the problems that they had run into was that there had not been any coordinator for the West Alabama region. It had been under the authority of the person who is actually over East Alabama, based out of Gadsden. So there was no presence in this area because Gadsden's a really far way away for about 8 or 9 years. So in 2023, a lady named Whitney Molden was named as the new West Alabama regional coordinator. And the big obstacle when I had my first meeting with her was that there is very little presence, and the brand does not carry a lot of weight here in West Alabama. That people are not really familiar with what the American Heart Association is and what they offer. So I ended up working on 2 angles. First was counties surrounding Tuscaloosa, Sumter, Fayette, Pickens, and Bibb counties. And then the other angle was the university, building connections and helping them find good avenues to explore through each of them.
Was success everything you did? And they were able to use some of it, or they were able to use some of the stuff you did?
Yes, they were. I think one of the most fascinating things that we discovered through this course, I was giving a presentation, just a regular update presentation, and Dr. Drnevich asked me at the end, he says, so what's the value proposition? Like, why do customers choose this? So that confused me because the American Heart Association is a charity. Like in a normal company, let's say I'm selling shirts. Your value proposition is linked to your revenue stream. Buy my shirts because they're better, and then when people buy them, I get money from selling the shirts. But in this organization, the revenue stream is from fundraising, which thankfully they have that covered very well. And then the product that they are trying to market is their awareness campaigns, whether it be for healthy eating, CPR training, for schools, businesses, whatever. So it's a free product. And when I realized that, it kind of made me take a step back. So I was like, no, hang on. We are looking at a free product, and we're still having issues marketing it. So that told me a lot about how connections are so important. Having connections, knowing who to talk to, what to say to them. For example, I talked with my client and I said, make sure when you talk to these people, emphasize that it's awareness and that it's free. Because like when I was my fraternity's president, I'd get 1 million texts from people saying, oh, my organization, this, that, and they want money. So an organization that doesn't want money needs to make that very clear so that people know that.
And then the other thing is that there's competitors, yes, but the biggest competitor is actually the couch. That why should we partner with you at all? Why do heart health at all? So we almost ran into this self-perpetuating loop where it's like the people don't know that they need heart health to know that they need to partner with the Heart Association, and the Heart Association wants to help them, but they don't know they need to be helped. But by directing our outreach at specific people, such as county chambers of commerce or medical officers, or through the university, the pre-medical student association or biology department, we are able to talk to people who have a better understanding of the topic and will be more receptive to working with us. We appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Hey y'all, so I'm Courtney Potter. I'm a senior over at the University of Alabama, and my project was with Credit Brains, and they are a student loan servicing company that works with student debt to help them consolidate it all, making their payments simpler. They actually handle the whole process. So what they'll do is they will help you fill out your application, submit it into the federal government, and get it all condensed so you have better payments and options, making life after college a little bit more affordable.
What all did you have to do for them? Help set it up, or what you have to do?
Absolutely. So the challenges that my company faced was identifying their target market, as well as they didn't have a current online presence. They have a website and a Facebook, but it's been inactive for a long time. And then they also just weren't sure the best ways to reach their market and other ways that we could tap into it. So basically I did a whole bunch of research and completely rebranded the company, developed a website, mock-ups, brand logos, renamed the company. I did a whole lot of research. It was great. And I think one of the coolest things was getting them to make the website, but even down to the colors that I chose for it were all research-based. It does. And so their main thing, too, is they save people thousands and thousands of dollars. And people are like, well, that's got to be too good to be true. How are you going to save me all this money when you're some small-town company? And so we wanted to work on overcoming skepticism. And the colors that do that are actually blue and green, black and white. And so we completely rebranded their website, made it a professional look. And it's actually a branch off a law firm. So we tied that into it. And that really helped.
So how do they make revenue? What's their revenue stream? Is it savings, or is it?
It's actually through, I think it's a one-time fee to start, so they do a consultation fee, and then they also do a recurring fee to maintain the application status. So after so long, you have to refile these applications or keep them updated, and so they take care of that for you, and that's what their clients pay for.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank y'all for your time. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm Sean Scarborough, the most handsome man in town. I know. It's hard being me, day in the life. So handsome, so desirable. I drive a motorcycle, and I drink beer. And I drive a motorcycle.
We should have had his own show.
Sean_Dion. It's my Instagram. DM me. Shout me out, you know. And Dr. Drnevich's class. Really cool. I do on hikes on the weekend.
I'm good.
Play the piano, a little bit of the guitar. I can sing, but I'm not too good at it. I got real bad eyesight. We're going to talk about that. So I wear contacts. I need to get some new ones.
Security.
I'm Lily Glassman.
I'm Nicole Riddle.
And y'all's client was?
Humane Society of West Alabama.
So what were they asking y'all to do as far as, what did they want?
So they wanted us to update their social media. The website design was outdated, so we worked on that. They didn't have a TikTok account, so we worked on gathering content for them. And then they had just moved to a new property, so we visited and took new pictures of like the dogs and the new space and things like that. And then we also did a huge list of outreach for them with like Alabama Greek organizations, and then also just local community partners.
Now, do y'all have a dog or cat?
Yes. I have the cat, yeah. Good dog.
Was there any there that y'all kind of wanted to take home?
Yeah.
I'm sure most of them.
Yeah, they were really adorable. There was one named Pepito that we really wanted to get a adopted. It's like a golden retriever mix, such a cute dog, but hopefully they're talking to people and someone will adopt him.
He's so good. He all want a dog.
Yeah.
I've got two. He's got two.
A big dog is so fun. Yeah, you'll have friends.
So what did y'all learn out of this whole process?
I think we definitely learned a lot more about how the outreach process works. Because we were talking to a lot of the community partners that are just businesses in the community, as well as the people on campus. So I found that the people on campus were a lot more willing to work together and partner for an event, but getting people that are willing to do percentage nights in the community was a little more difficult. It takes a little more effort.
Right.
Yeah, I think the whole outreach thing, calling on behalf of an organization, that you're not really on the board of and things, it can be scary if people ask questions and you don't really have the answers because you're not the proper representative. But I think that was the big thing, being able to talk to people and on behalf of an organization that you're not even in.
Right.
It could be a scary thing to call out. So if you don't know the right stuff, you sound stupid.
Yeah, it can be awkward if they ask a detail and I'm oh well actually I'll have to reach out to someone and let you know, but
yeah, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, I'm Eric.
I'm Tommy. I'm a senior. And what we were working on was with Yay, Alabama, trying to do a little bit of a consulting project, really trying to help them get started. Because they changed their tax classification and reformed in early 2023 and just don't really have a set path that they're going on. So what they want us to help them with was their student engagement, their student subscriber count overall, their social media presence, getting that all cleaned up and organized, and then helping them clean up their website and their payment process where it doesn't have to do a two-step where they have to manually push through new subscribers to get it sorted out.
This is like the NIL
Yes.
form of...
Yeah, this is the NIL collective that is associated with the university.
What are you drinking? I want to know that first.
Oh, I don't remember the name.
What is that? Really? So what did y'all learn? What did y'all take away from
Communication is key in these kinds of things, trying to get that sorted out, really staying ahead of the ball and working with our client, but also knowing when we need to just take control and go on our own path, where we're expecting what they want us to work on and going and doing that ourselves. We kind of split up the task midway through where I focused more on trying to do research into other collectives because that was something that they hadn't done yet. Was looking at the other collectives in the SEC, so I really did a deep dive onto Tennessee has 5 different NIL collectives that they have just for their school, specializing in different sports. Women's basketball at Tennessee has their own collective. So seeing how these different collectives are working and marketing their own products to really be able to take some of those ideas and use them here to grow our collective here. And then Eric worked on the website and the payment stuff a lot, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so their website needed help because they're using a bunch of different platforms and services. So I just researched different ways that they can kind of unify all of these different pieces of services into one single piece of software so it's easier to manage things because they rely on having a lot of subscribers. You subscribe to the collective and they get access to different media content like that. But their different subscriber tiers are kind of spread out and it's really hard for them to email big groups of them at once and send emails to them. So looking up different ways to unify all the different services.
Y'all work with Trip Powell?
Yeah, so we met with Trip Powell, Jay McPhillips, and Aaron Suttle. So we met with all 3 of them. Or at least that was the goal, to meet with all 3 of them every time. Our most recent meeting with them, Trip wasn't able to make it because he was at the Final Four. So he was dealing with all that stuff. But we met with all of them at least once. To just try and get ideas from all 3 of them.
So where do you think we stand as far as an NIL collective, as far as in the SEC?
Not great.
Yeah.
We're
just by pure number side, we have a lot of subscribers. I believe we are like fifth or sixth in total subscribers across social media platforms. But if you look at it, those are individual collectives. So Tennessee has 5 individual collectives. But then also, I think we're also very new to this. To the collective space. So the future is bright because especially with Coach DeBoer coming in, the other sports on campus really having great years across the board. The potential is there to really utilize that and grow it into across all sports collective that can really help. And then also with them having Young Alabama Vodka, which is coming out. Once that comes out and we get that into some of the bars around campus with signature drinks and different promotions like that, it can blow up. There's a lot of stuff that is right there at the edge that once that they take that next step, they've got everything that they can get.
We appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you for having us.
See you. Thank you.
I guess we'll start with y'all. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. Would you just let me know what project team you were, and then who was your student team working with you?
We were Boozy Spirits, which is a podcast, a new podcast, and we had Vince and Sean.
Okay, Vince and Sean, both very big characters.
They are.
How was it working with them this semester?
It was good. We had a good time with them. We meshed well, and they were able to give us some student input that me and Matt didn't have.
Yeah. So they gave us a lot, especially on the social media side, a lot of input that we're slowly starting to roll out. And you can see it's already starting to help.
Absolutely, and this is such a great event. I'm so glad y'all put this on, and we thank you for having us. Happy they were able to do some great stuff with y'all for social media. What would you say moving forward is some things that they can work on and carry into their next professional experiences with other business owners?
That was a tough question. Sean's going into the Army, so I'm really
Yeah, he is going in the Army, but he can still just be a good Army man, I guess.
That's right. Hey, thank you for joining me. I'm Courtney. I'm a student here in this class. I'm just looking to hear about your experience with the student team that you had. So if you'd say what your company was again and who your team members were, and just a little bit about your experience.
You bet. We're with Crawford Media Group, Birmingham. So we have WDJC, WXJC, and WID radio. We have 3 FM signals and 2 AM signals, but we also stream on Roku and multiple platforms. And the girls put together a marketing campaign to get some students who may want to be involved in radio, especially in the new way that we're doing things with streaming technology, the way that we sell our radio stations, because we are a commercially ran radio station. Even though we are Christian-based, we're not listener-supported. And so we do things in a very unique way where we want businesses to grow. We want to make back double their money half the time. We just have this desire to grow business, and whatever you're spending to keep us on the air, we're not going to be happy until we come up with at least double what you're spending. We want to market your business. So from copywriting, producing, to engineers, to hosts, to what I do on the backside, all we do is focus on learning the business, the heart of the business, no matter what prototype the business is, and we want to market and grow their businesses. So the girls learn all the information about how we do things and put together a complete package to hopefully entice some students who may want to put their hands to the plow and see how this really works.
Absolutely. So it sounds like y'all, from your interview with the girls while they were up here, that you really pour into your students. You guys enable them to use their skills and to find their own creative outlets through y'all's work. Do you see any challenges moving forward with that, or what kind of ways can you help govern and guide them, even though they're using their own creative ways?
Well, one of the things we did, because they don't know the market and the radio stations, intimately, I wanted to incorporate the entire market of all the signals and really dig deep, even into the engineering department and who is really working on the inside to keep us on the air, whether it's terrestrial or that. And that was something that to them they didn't know existed. So I said, really, I want to really send out the message and the uniqueness that where radio is today and what is needed are the youth-driven podcasters. I mean, this is, podcasting is a talk radio type of format. All of our shows have a podcast in addition to what we do on the radio. We can say and do things off the air that the FCC can't ding us with, especially if there's a hot topic about something. Some of our talk show programs are real political driven. Sometimes they can only go so far on a terrestrial station, but they can say, watch or listen to our podcast for even more in depth of how we're feeling about this thing. And so one of the things I want to, yes, anytime I work with anybody, I want them to feel free to work within their giftings and their talents. These girls said, we're learning how to market businesses. So I showed them everything what our business is about. And then said, now find the people, put something together that'll entice people who want to be a part of this kind of thing. We think differently, we do it differently than normal radio stations. We don't sell advertising, we get partners and we want to market their business. We are internal marketers. So I said, well, find me those folks. Do something that's going to get people to want to think differently and do things in a different way and get results for businesses. At the same time, that'll empower us to do the one thing that we want to do. And that's either make Jesus famous through our music or our programming, or give talk radio hosts a platform to share what they believe, that their really true part is. And we're also looking for hosts. Of course, people love radio and talking and all, but for the most part, that was what I wanted. And when they first came, it was just for one station. I said, let's market the whole market. Let's get the whole thing involved and not just focus on WDJs. Because that's our one music radio station. It's all music all the time. You want to be involved with record labels, you want to meet artists, great. We also have a talk format, and it's very popular.
Yeah, there's a lot more than just
so that was the only area where they were like, wow, we didn't realize the whole, umbrella.
Project.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Do you have any further advice moving forward if you were to do another project with the university on just how we can be better students for y'all and better partners?
Well, I'll tell you, the class, since I moved from California to the South in 9 months, the hospitality, the class of people, the manners and all, that's huge. But when it comes to just learning and growing, especially in the world of radio and media, I think right now what is missing is a true, personality.
Yeah.
People want to, you have a personality about you, big smile, you're trying to dig in, you're paying attention. A lot of times in radio, people have forgotten the art of just having a conversation and just being conversational. And your personality, who are you, what really drives you, don't be afraid to just let that be open.
Just take pride in who you are and your identity.
And there's something about, I think every time I meet either a student for University of Alabama, or we're close to UAB and other schools, it's the same drive. What is it that drives you? That's why when I met Ellie and Haley, what is it that drives you? They each had something. One brought the look, while the other took the wording and really grasped who we were as Crawford. And it was so heartwarming because they didn't have to, but they kind of became Crawford, if you will. So taking ownership, I think, is if you're going to do something, take ownership of what you're doing. You don't usurp authority over the bosses, but take it as if it was your business. How would this look and how would you do it? And so that's what I would encourage anybody. Whatever you're getting involved in, do it wholeheartedly. Don't do it to please man, right? But do it because you believe you have a gift and talent. Do it and just do it and see what happens. And if it's not, that's okay. Move on. Go to the next thing. But that's what I have picked up on, especially with Ellie and Haley, because it doesn't seem like they've done much, but they have. We haven't been in communication a lot because every time we have, they'll show me something. I go, let's go with number 2, do something in that realm, and then a week later, and they're just creating it, a color scheme, a splash, or we had an idea of this when it came to this, or the wording was like this, and I read it and I go, that's more in line. Thank you.
That's great that they're able to take correction and just pour into you the way you poured into it.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
In this class, I just want to gather some insights. Could you just start with the introduction again of your name and who's on your team from the students?
Sure. Yep. So, wait, can't remember his last name. Yep. So yeah, Adam and Gavin helped me out this semester. They did a fantastic job. They killed it. They're huge on social media. I was like so impressed how they did with that. Anything technology.
Yeah, it sounded like they took kind of the burden off of your shoulders and were able to just focus on that so you could focus on all your other ventures.
100%. 100%. That's just something that I knew was so important. I just did not have time to focus on it. And knowing just kind of the age and the generation that they were to come in here and really do a good job.
Well, that's amazing. I'm glad they had great feedback for you on social media. In what ways could they have improved on their project or been a better consultant for your business, if any? And moving forward, what can they take into their next professional venture?
Yeah, as far as improvements, I can't really note any. I mean, they did a good job. I think hopefully they learned some lessons along the way that we kind of went through, and some examples, some things that I've learned in the past I've shared with them that they can kind of take in their future endeavors.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time. And I'm so happy they had a wonderful experience and you did too.
Yep.
I hope to work with you again.
That's great. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you. Hey, Courtney Porter. I'm a student, and so I just want to get the inside scoop a little bit on the client experience. So
Yes.
would you state your business and then your team members from the class?
Yes. So business, who is coffee? Brendan and Matt. I think. Don't ask me which one. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think hopefully they learned a lot. I learned a lot of kind of how to. I think it's interesting when you do these sort of things, especially as an entrepreneur. You know, like this is my world. Like I got to remember that not everybody's like a weirdo about coffee and knows all the ins and outs about it. And so you kind of have to explain that to them and make sure that they understand what's going on. Why are we doing what we're doing? And so that was kind of a learning experience for me. I hopefully got that across to them, and I think they kind of understood the benefit of what we were trying to do. And so, yeah, it was good.
Overall, were you pretty pleased with all of their work? Like, what kind of projects did they do for you that you were most impressed with?
Yeah, so what we examined was just kind of we're trying to determine, is there a market for kind of technology in the coffee space? And so that's what I kind of tasked them to do. Is like, okay, here's our idea. And our idea is based on we sell specialty coffee, and we believe that like there's a knowledge gap between what makes good coffee versus great coffee. You know, a lot of people drink coffee daily, but they just think of it as a conduit for caffeine, not necessarily like something that I could invest in as a high quality beverage and enjoy, and also a conduit for caffeine. And so we're trying to examine how we can use technology to sort of bridge that gap and sell more coffee. And so we have a couple of ideas for product ideas, namely around like a sort of interactive chatbot that we could put on our website that would monitor our products and our stock, and then people come to our website and be like, hey, I'm interested in trying new coffees, but I don't know what. And so we can kind of have like a personal interaction with them. Kind of guide them. Okay, what kind of coffee do you like? When you drink it, what kind of equipment do you have? All these sort of things matter. And then we can, recommend from our website, hey, buy this one. They would drop a link in, and that's, click buy now. So I was like, was there even a market for this, right? So our goal is to build it at least for our store, and then our online store, and then maybe try to sell that as a product to other coffee shops. And so the goal is to say, instead of us trying to out-market every other coffee company there is, could we sell this to them? So we said, hey, go figure out, A, is there a market for this? If there is, how do I market to other coffee shop owners? And then how much should I charge for this? So they kind of did a little survey, and then there's a little follow-on to it. But they got to do a whole bunch of kind of marketing funnels, and re-examine several different social media platforms, and where's the biggest bang for your buck as far as paid advertising now. Oddly enough, it's Twitter, which if you kind of
I wouldn't have thought.
Well, if you kind of take a step back, right? So it is X now, and they've never been this like behemoth of an advertising engine like Facebook or Instagram. So those two are like really, really, really competitive. Whereas Twitter is kind of green, like everybody's kind of, so it kind of made a lot of sense. But it was interesting. I mean, it was a noticeable difference that they found as far as cost per click, cost per conversion that we could pay. So it was good. Hopefully, I think they kind of learned about marketing funnels and kind of, I think they were kind of shocked. I was like, okay, because they would go get the data and they're like, all right, it's going to cost you like $2 per 1,000 impressions. I'm like, okay, assume you've got 10 grand. How many can they do? Oh, you can do like 2 million impressions. I'm like, okay, now assume 1% of that clicks the ad. They're like, all right. I was like, then assume 1% of that actually buys something. Like, oh, okay.
So it's getting a lot of sore.
Yeah. So I'm like, now you kind of see sort of how the funnel works. And, it was great. Hopefully they're a little more passionate about coffee now, and kind of learn kind of how you take sort of something you never would think that tech's going to be involved in, and make a tech angle to it to further your sort of business assets. So.
I think it was great to get them involved in technology. I mean, it's such a buzzword in the industry, so to get ahead of it on something like coffee where you wouldn't think it belongs, that's amazing.
Yeah, we got to talk about ChatGPT and AI and all this fun stuff, so it was fun.
That's amazing. If you had any feedback moving forward for your consultants, just going into professional work, like what kind of advice would you give them or things that they can work on moving forward?
Yeah. So I am a consultant by training when I'm not selling coffee. So the biggest advice I give is over-communicate to your clients and understand your clients' problems as or better than they do. Right? If you do those two things, you'll never really hurt for consulting work, in my opinion. And you don't have to understand the ins and outs and be an expert on it. You need to understand their problem, right? And be married to that problem, and then over-communicate possible solutions. Remember, you're not the decision maker, so your job is to say understand the problem that the client's trying to solve. Research all the potential solutions, and then help them understand the pros and cons of each, and then have them understand what is most important to get done. And that should help us figure out which path to take. So that would be my advice, and that's kind of my advice, generally speaking, just kind of in all the other professions in general, right? Like, I mean, if you don't understand the problem these people have, you can't really provide value to your customers, with your colleagues, whoever else it might be. Maybe it's your boss, or your boss has got problems. Okay, how do you create value for your boss to solve those problems? So, just understanding those problems intimately, and either proactively solve them or present many solutions. So.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for your time.
Yeah,
and I just appreciate you speaking with us and giving us the opportunity to work with us.
For sure.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good magic.
So how many drinks have you had?
Too many.
Okay, we're just getting started. Nice, young.
Are you the intermission again?
I guess. Who's our last client?
Cara Watts from Meter's going to come up to get interviewed.
Oh.
And then you and Vince are going to close out the podcast.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
You're the encore.
Does that give us an A?
No, you get an encore, but you all are the main event.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
He's the main event when he walks in any room. Let's be honest.
Wow, well, aren't you kind? Thank you. I'm going to get that on my tombstone.
Hey.
Sean.
The main
event. Yeah. I'm Sean, by the way. I've never properly introduced myself or even spoken to you.
We've had 2 classes
We've had
together.
more than 2 classes together.
But it's okay.
Did you not have Gina Simpson?
I did, but I had her online.
You had her online?
Yeah, for 386.
She was kind of not enjoyable.
I've heard that.
Yeah, you have. She was pretty boring.
Well, how would you rate this class then? With Dr. D?
Similar. At points. Oh, okay, I'm getting kicked out.
I won't tell him.
That's our secret.
Hi. I'm so happy to have you up here. I just wanted to hear a little bit about your experience working with our team, or our student team. So you just introduce your business, and again, who is on your team, and a little bit about your experience working with them.
Perfect, yeah. So I'm Cara Block. I own Meter Clothing, and Cassie and Shelby were amazing. We're a very new company, just me, so it was awesome to have a ton of help and the research help guide my pattern drafting to really make sure I fit like the right consumer, the right age group, and overall just like awesome people to just throw ideas around with. We have a group text that I think will continue.
Well, it's so awesome you guys built a personal relationship and really got to connect with each other. That's so special, and I wish every client got to feel that same way. If you had any advice for them just moving forward for their next professional ventures, what would you kind of say for them just to encourage them or give them advice on how they can be better young professionals I know you went through the business school, and so I know they've got similar paths ahead of them.
Yeah, I mean, just keep. So I would tell them to keep doing what they're doing. They're already very successful in what they're doing, and like great to work with, super organized, and on top of everything that they're working on. So yeah, just keep moving forward. Yeah.
Well, that's so amazing. Do you think you would ever come back to work with this program again? And what would you like to see different about how the program's run if you did?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to come back to work with the program again. It was a great program. I don't really have any complaints. It was great to see like the student teams take charge and like lead the way and see the progress throughout the semester.
And final question, it was just coming as a student from Alabama, were you ever engaged in something like this as well, or were your classes completely different, and how do you think this class could be beneficial to young professionals?
Yeah, so I'm actually engineering background, so similar project, but slightly different, focused on engineering. I do recommend sticking with this though. I really like the focus on small businesses because if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to start there. So like, if you see people working day to day on it, it improves exposure and like gives you the reality that you could do this because like you realize people are really just trying to figure it out just like you are.
Everybody's figuring it out.
Exactly.
We're all in this thing boat.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I just appreciate you coming up here.
Thank you. It was great to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Hey, viewers. Hey. Hey. Check. All right. We need to have quiet it down. Vince is about to speak.
Haley, stop talking. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Hello again. I'm Vince Duffy.
And I'm Sean Mitchell Scarborough.
Now, I'm just going to ask, were y'all like the stars of the class? I mean, are y'all like...
No, we sat in the back.
Yeah, I always got there a little late.
Did Dr. D put y'all on us because y'all were in trouble?
Honestly, I think he might have.
No. We actually worked really hard to get with you guys.
Did you?
So I got kicked out of Haley's group, thank God, wouldn't want to be with them anyway, right? Because Vince had got up to Dr. D and said, hey, I don't have a group. Could I be up with Sean's group? And Dr. D said, no.
I'm the mastermind behind this.
Dr. D said no, but I'll take Sean out of his group. So I show up to class late, as always, and Dr. D goes, hey, you're with Vince. And I go, what? And it was,
we didn't even know each other either.
It was great ever since.
It was kind of awkward because Dr. D was like, yeah, Sean, Vince said, you're in his group now. It's like,
that's exactly how we pitched it.
Yeah.
I've been with this group for over a semester working with them on stuff.
But y'all are friends now.
Oh, yeah.
Beer pong.
Beer pong. Yeah, driving home that day was wild.
No, we took the bus. Go to the Army, right?
Yeah.
Both of y'all are going to the Army?
Yeah, he's going to buddy.
Oh, yeah, I'm Call of Duty.
Out in Afghanistan playing beer pong.
So what did y'all learn?
So what did you learn, Vince?
Or did you learn anything? If you did, that's fine.
I learned that everything doesn't have to be so serious.
Yeah.
You can still have fun and do what you want to do and have a good time. And that's what it's all about.
I agree. To an extent, it's gotta make some money somewhere.
And if you can figure a way to make some money off that, that's even better.
The main thing is just enjoy it. Just enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we learned a lot was the process. It doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be PowerPoint, spreadsheet, all this stuff. It can be enjoyable, especially the creative process with something like this. It was a lot of fun. Vince and I would message back and forth all the time, just talking about fun ideas. We'd even message with you guys.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see how can you incorporate such a fun, creative process into a very real idea.
Right.
Especially when you guys are already very successful businesses.
And y'all gave us great ideas as far as social media and all, which is what we need as old folks. We don't really know how TikTok and all that.
I feel like I'm getting old myself now, honestly.
You're an old soul.
Like, I'm already missing out on the trends. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
I just downloaded TikTok. I feel like I might be in it, but not really.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on either. Yeah, and y'all got to hang out with two socialites.
So, yeah, I know. I got some
I call myself an influencer.
I saw a socialite.
Yeah, I tell everyone
y'all
I
are
got
influencers. Come on. I mean, in the flesh right here.
Really, you truly are.
If I influence anybody, it's not a good thing.
I don't believe that. I saw our video got 80 views in climbing. Okay.
Yeah,
climbing.
Have y'all,
Let me come up.
has your parents watched?
I sent it to them, and they don't love me enough.
My mom absolutely loved it. She thought it was hilarious. Trying to get her to, spread the word,
She see where those dollars are going that she's spending up here, and
yeah.
You're doing a class about what?
Yeah. She was honestly pumped to see it. She never gets to see what I actually do. She'd rather see a podcast, listen, going out and having fun, rather than see nothing. And I just get a C- in some random class. So
I know made a few of those. I really enjoyed this. This is my favorite. This was maybe not my favorite class. My favorite class experience. I was good with you guys.
Well, keep in touch. I want to know how the Army experience
I'll write
goes.
you letters. If you text me a PO box.
Yeah, letters
Or I have eaten. I don't want to eat my pizza. I just send letters there. They're yelling at me.
We'll talk about it on the show.
That would be funny. Yeah, you have to. If I send you a letter, you have to read it.
Oh, we'll read it. Yeah.
This is from Sean. I'm crying. I want to go home.
I'm over in Israel, and
Wow, it's not like the movies. My recruiter lied.
Exactly.
But I'm excited for it. I am. It's nerve-wracking, especially as I'm getting closer. It's really nerve-wracking. Because it's weird heading headlong into something you know is going to suck. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life, and I have it on a calendar. And I'm just looking at it. Okay.
dude, you're gonna kill it.
I don't know, man.
You will. You will.
It's hard.
And if not, you can always go AWOL.
Okay, well,
That's not good road.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That's not condoned. We don't condone that on boozy spirits. Don't go AWOL.
You can be like, what's his name on Halo Reach? You know what I'm talking about? Alright, never mind. Never mind.
Righteous. Okay.
Let's give it up. He's never seen Ghostbusters.
I have.
It's true, yeah. I don't think he has a TV.
I have a TV. I propped up on 2 chairs. Well, I really enjoyed it, man.
We enjoyed it.
Blast. Really enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it, brother.
In a couple of years, I think we need to have a rematch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Beer pong.
We'll have a rematch, a reunion, and all.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe Sean will be,
Hopefully he's still alive.
Yeah. Hopefully he, has all his limbs.